Hey there, welcome back to Ask Amy. Before I get into today's question, I just have to say that I'm looking at the calendar, realizing it is, what date is this? February 3rd, and that the next Little School of Big Change course begins in less than a month. It starts March 2nd. March 2nd, so less than a month. We'll be welcoming in all the new students, starting the next 6-week course. And I'm so excited. I just live for this course. I love it so much. I only lead it twice a year, as you probably know, once in the fall and once in the spring. So the next course starts March 2nd. You can pre-enroll at any time. When you pre-enroll, you save your seat, you save some money, and you get some stuff right away. There's some little mini course in there. There's some great resources and materials to keep you busy between now and March 2nd, which isn't very long. So in addition to pre-enrolling and getting all the great stuff that's in there, I'm also going to be leading some totally free webinars this month. So every Tuesday, starting next Tuesday, February 11th, for the next 4 weeks, I'm leading a totally free webinar on different topics that the understanding that's shared in the school has helped people find freedom from. So I will put the link here to where you can check out those webinars. But next week, February 11th, is a webinar on finding freedom from binge eating and overeating. The following Tuesday is on anxiety and worry. The following Tuesday is insecurity and self-doubt. And the following Tuesday, which I believe is March 3rd, is on the overing habits. So like over interneting, which is a word, over drinking, over spending, overworking, whatever you're overing, we'll talk about how this understanding has helped with those. So you could join all of them if you have all of those issues, and I hope you don't, or you could just pick the one or ones that are most relevant to you. So the link is here in the description. It's just dramyjohnson.com/webinars, and you get to choose the one that makes sense for you. So I hope to see you on some of those. So let's get into today's question. It is from Annamari, and Annamari says, according to this understanding, how do I really separate myself from others? Meaning, how do I really get to the point, she says, where I deeply understand that whatever another person says or does has absolutely nothing to do with me. I understand that all I ever feel comes from my own thoughts, but something is kind of missing when I want it to click the other way around. So she gets that she feels her own thinking, but when she looks at someone else who's maybe talking about her or saying something about her, she can't quite see in the same way that they're also just feeling their own thinking. It looks and feels personal to Annamari. So I love this question, Annamari. It's a great question. And I kind of want to speak to it in two different ways. I'll speak to it the way that I'm thinking you most care about, that I think is probably the way that you want to hear it. And then I kind of want to play with something on the other side. So how do I get to the point where I deeply understand that what another person says or does has absolutely nothing to do with me? I mean, it's hard. It can be hard. It can be really hard because first of all, they're talking about you. They're saying, Annamari, I don't like you. You were wrong. You shouldn't have done this thing. Everything in their words, everything in their opinion is about this character named Annamari, who you happen to be very close with. You have a very vested interest in this character, Annamari. You feel what she feels. She feels what you feel. Like there's this whole connection with this Annamari identity. And when someone says something or looks at that identity in a way that you don't like, or says something about that identity or that person, of course, like the first response almost always, maybe forever, is going to feel like that's personal, because we are so in our own little worlds of who we are. And we are just the center of our own universe, so much so that when anything comes at that identity, at that little Annamari figure, that thought about her, it's going to feel personal. It's going to feel real. It's going to hurt if they're criticizing, and it's going to feel like this elation, this great feeling if they're praising. So this works both ways, right? When someone says, man, that Annamari, she's an amazing woman. You like that. I like that when people say that about me, because we feel like we are us, So that's going to happen. But when I read this, it's so interesting. It's like, if we really look at this, how do I get to the point where I deeply understand that what they say and do has nothing to do with me? As you know, because you see it for yourself, what even occurs to them? What's even within their consciousness to say or do about you, or otherwise about anything in life, just in life, period? What is even available to them? What shows up for them? What pops to their mind? How they interpret things? That is not influenced or determined or impacted by the outside world. That is experience arising within that person. And when we start to look at that more and more, now don't look at it with like rigid, hard kind of view, just kind of be curious about it. Hold back a little bit and just be sort of curious about, like, so how often have I had a thought or opinion and it looked absolutely true and real and solid, and like, yeah, it's about you and I'm seeing you clearly, or I'm seeing this situation clearly. And later some new information came in, or my mood changed, something else changed in my life or in my experience, and that opinion did a complete 180. How often have you experienced this? I've experienced this so many times. There have been so many times in my life when I come across someone and for whatever reason, maybe my ego feels kind of threatened by them, or I'm intimidated by them or something. And my mind creates all this garbage, all these opinions that look like they're about them. They're being attached and thrown toward that person in that moment. So I have this experience of having these opinions of this person. And later, something shifts. I hear something new. I'm in a different mood. I'm feeling more secure and less insecure. I'm less judgy toward that. Whatever it is, brand new thoughts and opinions and potential actions and all of that surrounding this person show up. They just weren't there before. So we can only think and act and say and do what occurs to us. What occurs to us to think, act, say, and do. And that is always revolving, and that is not determined by what the players out here are doing. It truly, truly isn't. It's just what shows up in our consciousness. So we all know many people who walk around and kind of say the best about everyone. They see the best in everyone. They only speak kindness. They just have a compliment for everyone. And we also sort of know that when that person compliments us, it's not all that meaningful. It's like, yeah, but you like everyone, right? Like that's not about me. Like, you say that about everyone. That's their lens. That's coming from them. Same with people on the other end of the extreme who complain about everything. They like no one. They find a problem with everything. When they criticize you, do you care so much, Annamari? Not really. You're just grumpy. That's just you. You see everyone in a negative light. So I point that out. Now 99% of the people we will be in contact with will be somewhere in the middle, right? They're not at those extremes. But the middle doesn't work any differently. It doesn't mean it's different, really. It's just a different level of extreme. So it's easier to see in the extremes. It's easier to discount others' opinions when they're extreme. When they're in that 99% of the middle, it's just harder for us to see, which is exactly what you're asking. So keep knowing, Annamari. I love how you say in here, I see it when it's in me, but I don't see it in them. That is more powerful than you probably think. It is an amazing start, because you just keep deepening in what's already deep. You just keep deepening in what you do already see. Oh yeah, it can't be coming from them. Whether I see it or not, different question. It literally can't be coming from them. Like, how could that even work? I feel my own stuff. And so it's like, you see it here, you don't see it there. That's normal. That's normal. We see it some places and we don't see it others. But what we get to keep doing is knowing it doesn't only work sometimes. This is a law, a principle of how we work as human beings. And so it's always true whether we see it or not. And I think that's kind of an interesting thing. So how do I really get to the point, you ask, where I deeply understand and I deeply see? Maybe you don't always. Like maybe, I think we put so much emphasis on, oh, I want to see it. I want to have anxiety show up and I want to see that it's safe and okay. I want to feel insecure and critical and jealous and all of that. And I want to see that it's just thinking. Well, you're not going to all the time. So get over it. Like sometimes you can't see it. But what I've truly found is that it doesn't really matter so much whether you see it in the moment. When you know that it can only work one way, you're going to feel insecure. You're going to not see it. And it's just not going to have that much impact on you because, as soon as your thinking shifts, which it always is, you go back to what you know. Life only works in this one way. We feel stuff within us. So that's part of this. I also just want to say, Annamari, when you're asking about this how question, which so many people ask, how, and again, this is the part that's more me than you, because I think I just picked up on that and I want to speak to it. How do I get to the point where I deeply understand? I actually want to give a bit of a how answer, a bit of a how strategy here. So when we want to see more about anything that we don't currently see all that much about, how do we see it more deeply? Well, if you've been in the Little School of Big Change, you know that I love this what if exercise, if you can call it that, this what if thought, right? What if we play with it only ever works this one way, no exceptions? Now, again, knowing that as human beings, we feel exceptions all over the place. Somebody's going to give you a dirty look and you're going to feel bad and you're going to think it's about you. That will happen, no doubt about it. But you keep playing with this, like, what if everything that everyone out there says, does, and thinks about me has nothing really to do with me? It's only what's showing up in their consciousness within them. What if there are zero exceptions to this? And what if I just go through a day or even an hour or even 10 minutes and I'm just in that feeling of, nope, that's how it works. That's how it works. You play with it. You experiment with it. You let yourself live in this reality that might not feel all that reality like to you right now, but you really step into it. I've had so much change myself by really doing this, because what happens is our mind wants to find all the exceptions and all the loopholes. Our mind wants to say, oh yeah, experience comes from within us. That's nice. But, this one feels different, or I don't see it over there. It's like our mind just wants to kind of pop us out of this really big place that we're looking toward. So you kind of go against that a little bit. You kind of play with it where you get sort of extreme in the other side. No. What if I am 100% well, no exceptions, only feeling thinking? What if all their opinions are always about them, nothing to do with me? And it feels extreme, and it feels at first like your mind saying, no way, no way, no way. But pretty soon your mind quiets on that, and you're still playing the extreme game, and you start to see it more and more. You see evidence of it. You see new things that you can't currently see all over the place. So play with that a little bit, Annamari, and see what that shows you. So thank you so much for this question. Great question. Huge thing that people kind of struggle with. So I'm happy you sent it and that I got to speak to it. Thanks everyone for listening. Check out the link for the free webinars starting next week, and I will see you back here next Monday. Have a great week.